Lembah Klang atau Greater Kuala Lumpur antara kota metropolitan paling pesat membangun di dunia. Diduduki 7 juta orang, bandar ini berdepan dengan kesesakan trafik.
Jam kat KL ni daripada dulu sampai sekarang memang sama je lah. Rasanya tak ada kesudahan, memang jam je.
In Kuala Lumpur, every day is a jam day.
Infrastrukturnya tidak mampu menyokong kemajuan kota yang pesat. Masalah ini perlu diatasi segera.
It was just absolutely necessary for us to build a mass rapid transit in Klang Valley. We didn't think there was any other option.
Jajaran Sungai Buloh Kajang akan merentasi sejauh 51 km dengan 9.5 km laluan dibina di bawah tanah di pusat bandar. 10 buah mesin pengorek terowong akan menggali batuan dan tanah untuk membina dinding terowong. 6 buah mesin direka khas untuk mengatasi keadaan geologi yang mencabar di Kuala Lumpur.
You can say it's very special because no machine has been designed like this before.
Train moden ini akan transit di 31 stesen baru. Setiap satu direka mencerminkan kekayaan budaya Malaysia. Greater Kuala Lumpur memerlukan mod pengangkutan baru ini. Mampukah jurutera-jurutera Malaysia menyahut cabaran ini? Lembah Klang Malaysia, juga dikenali sebagai Greater Kuala Lumpur, adalah satu daripada kota metropolitan paling pesat membangun di dunia. Pada tahun 2010, Kerajaan Malaysia melaksanakan program transformasi ekonomi untuk menjadikan Malaysia sebagai negara maju menjelang 2020.
The economic transformation program, the objective of the program is really to transform the economy of Malaysia to become a high-income economy that is inclusive, at the same time sustainable.
Sebahagian daripada inisiatif ini adalah untuk mengubah Lembah Klang menjadi bandar dan hub ekonomi yang diiktiraf di peringkat global.
We realized that cities compete much more vigorously than nations. And so if our city is not as competitive, we have a problem with attracting capital into the city. And we might have a problem attracting talent as well, and trade and businesses. So that's why we focus on that.
Kediaman kepada lebih 7 juta orang dengan jangkaan peningkatan kepada 10 juta menjelang 2020, bandar ini berdepan dengan kesesakan trafik. Kira-kira 2 juta kenderaan menuju pusat bandar setiap hari. Pakar trafik menjangka kota ini akan terus menghadapi masalah kesesakan lalu lintas selagi langkah drastik tidak diambil.
Memang jam. Mana-mana kita pergi pun jam. Saya paling lama tersangkut dalam trafik jam ni lebih kurang 1 jam lebih. Distance dia lebih kurang 3 km macam tu.
Malaysia sangat memerlukan model pengangkutan baru yang dapat mengubah lanskap infrastruktur Lembah Klang. Pada tahun 2010, kerajaan melaksanakan projek yang menjadi pemangkin perubahan. Transit aliran massa Lembah Klang atau KV MRT. Rangkaian rel ini akan menjadi tunjang kepada sistem pengangkutan yang mampan bersepadu dengan laluan infrastruktur pengangkutan sedia ada seperti LRT, monorail, KTMB komuter dan perkhidmatan bas dalam bandar dan antara bandar. KV MRT bukan sahaja menjadikan Lembah Klang setanding bandar global lain dengan mempertingkatkan perhubungan, malah juga menambah baik alam sekitar Greater Kuala Lumpur.
We are aiming to have at least 40% of the people using urban public transport. That's going to take a lot of cars off the road, and which means it will reduce emission, and that will clean the air greatly for Klang Valley.
Pada bulan Julai 2011, Perdana Menteri Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, melancarkan projek infrastruktur yang terbesar. Visi beliau adalah menambah baik perhubungan pengangkutan di Lembah Klang dan memberi keselesaan kepada rakyatnya. MRT Corporation Sendirian Berhad ditubuhkan di bawah Kementerian Kewangan dan diterajui oleh Ketua Pegawai Eksekutifnya, Datuk Wira Azhar Abdul Hamid, yang diberi mandat oleh kerajaan untuk menyiapkan projek KV MRT menjelang tahun 2020.
As owner-developer of the MRT project, what we're doing is we're making sure that, of course, this project gets built and delivered on time. The idea here, is not just to build an MRT, but in doing so, what we're also trying to do is we're trying to influence landscapes in Kuala Lumpur, as well as try to change the way of life of citizens in Kuala Lumpur.
Sungai Buloh Kajang adalah jajaran KV MRT yang pertama. Ia menjadi laluan kepada 1.2 juta populasi.
We embarked on a very detailed study, and we found that this was the least served areas as far as rail transportation was concerned. So that was why we gave priority to actually undertaking the Sungai Buloh Kajang rail alignment.
Dengan pembinaan jajaran 51 km dengan 31 stesen, penduduk akan dapat bergerak antara kawasan penempatan, pusat komersial dan kawasan tumpuan kerjaya di sekitar Lembah Klang. Projek KV MRT memainkan peranan penting dalam mewujudkan kota Lembah Klang yang dinamik. Bukan hanya memanfaatkan penduduknya, malah menjana ekonomi khususnya ke atas sektor seperti pembinaan dan industri berkaitan. Membina sistem pengangkutan baru bukanlah satu tugas mudah. Aliran ini akan melalui kawasan berpopulasi padat.
The city was not planned enough to accommodate the high growth in population and the high growth in development. That's why we have all this problem with finding a corridor to accommodate this kind of large-scale mass transportation system.
Jajaran 51 km terbahagi kepada seksyen bertingkat dan seksyen bawah tanah. Buat kali pertamanya di Malaysia, konsep Rakan Pelaksana Projek atau PDP telah diperkenalkan untuk menguruskan pembinaan seksyen bertingkat bagi projek yang kompleks ini.
We transfer the risk of project delivery and the risk of making sure that there are no cost overruns as far as the project is concerned. It's transferred over to our PDP.
The PDP basically will be responsible for managing all aspects of the project. That means the design aspect, the procurement aspect, and also the implementation or the construction aspect of it. Bottom line is, PDP has to ensure that it delivers what it's supposed to do, which is delivers according to the targeted cost and also delivers according to the completion days.
Untuk memastikan kejayaan projek ini, proses perolehan telus dilaksanakan untuk memilih keseluruhan 85 pakej kerja. Syarikat tertakluk kepada penilaian yang tegas untuk memastikan hanya kontraktor yang terbaik dan berpengalaman dipilih.
The idea is for the government to appoint contractors, to award packages to capable local contractors. For our civil infrastructure works, we have 10 of them. For systems, we have 13 of them. The contractors carry out the works, and the PDP manage the contractors.
Kerajaan menetapkan sasaran 43% daripada nilai kontrak untuk aliran MRT Sungai Buloh Kajang diberikan kepada syarikat Bumi Putra.
To date, I think we've exceeded that. We are now about 45-46%, and we're making sure that this sort of support as far as the Bumi Putra agenda is concerned will be sustained in the future.
Satu jawatan kuasa khas MRT Exco ditubuhkan untuk memastikan projek berjalan lancar.
Undertaking a project like the MRT, we touch many government departments and ministries. And for us to actually spend time to go to them one by one is going to be very tedious. Now, with this committee that is basically chaired by the Chief Secretary to the government, a lot of decisions can be made on the spot with everybody present. So, in a way, it makes our job a lot easier. And I think the MRT model actually has been enhanced by having this MRT Exco.
Untuk memastikan kosnya diuruskan dengan baik, pengambilan tanah diminimumkan.
The government has asked us to make sure that at least 70% of it is government reserve so that we don't encroach too much. So we try to keep the land acquisition or the compulsory acquisition level down.
We have had to share reserves with some other infrastructure, for example. And we had also tried to put this alignment where there are public roads or public highways. So it was quite a challenge to achieve that.
Untuk seksyen bawah tanah, satu perjanjian bersama diwujudkan antara MRT Corp dan pemilik persendirian di beberapa kawasan.
We're talking about people's private property that they've acquired to the generation from their father or grandfather, and there's a lot of emotion attached to owning this sort of properties. So we try to not acquire them, but with a lot of guidance and with a lot of support from people like the Attorney General's chambers. Our team, together with the PDP team, we've managed to craft out unique mutual agreement for each lot that you land title that you actually want to work with. End of the day, what happens is you can coexist and these property owners don't lose their land. And this is the beauty of it. We are allowed to build our tunnel underground with the property owners still enjoying their property.
Seksyen atas tanah MRT terdiri daripada jejambat bertingkat dan stesen. Terdapat 1,400 tiang yang akan dibina untuk menyokong 17,000 galang ke kotak bersegmen. Di puncak pembinaan, kira-kira 20 gantri pelancar dengan berat 400 tan akan digunakan untuk membina jejambat.
Because we're building all these structures for the MRT line through heavily congested area. So we've had to do a lot of pre-planning, actually. Plan for the traffic diversion and the construction to be done in stages. So we call it phase construction. So we will divert traffic to this side in phase 1, finish works here and then divert to traffic to this side in phase 2 and so on and so forth.
Jarak yang dekat dengan struktur sedia ada juga menyukarkan pembinaan jejambat.
Certain areas we are not able to use conventional machines because to build this kind of structures requires very huge machines like the ones you can see over there. Those are the type of machines that we use for the foundation works. So we get areas like what we have in this vicinity, like in Semantan and Pusat Bandar Damansara, where we've had to resort to non-conventional method. Things like hendak caissons, which are basically foundation piles but constructed by hand digging. It's a very labor-intensive kind of work, but we can't use any other method because it will be too dangerous because of its proximity to buildings or its proximity to major roads, like in this particular case, and also because of safety to the public.
Untuk mengelakkan kesan negatif kepada lanskap bandar, bangunan dan jalan raya, sebahagian dari aliran Sungai Buloh Kajang di pusat bandar dibina di bawah tanah. Seksyen bawah tanah adalah sepanjang 9.5 km merentasi Semantan ke Maluri melalui 7 stesen bawah tanah iaitu KL Central, Pasar Seni, Merdeka, Bukit Bintang, Pasar Rakyat, Cochrane dan Maluri. Untuk membina terowong, mesin pengorek terowong atau TBM digunakan untuk mengorek batuan dan tanah sambil membina dinding kekal. Sepuluh buah mesin TBM digunakan untuk menyiapkan projek ini mengikut program.
Tunnel boring machines are essentially cutting tools for the ground. You can refer to them as a mole. Most cities now, for railway, the tunnels are built using TBMs because of safety issues and because of ground conditions.
Keadaan geologi sepanjang seksyen bawah tanah jajaran Sungai Buloh Kajang terdiri daripada formasi Kenny Hill dan formasi Batu Kapur Kuala Lumpur.
Canning formation is actually consists of weathered sandstone or mudstone. So it is very predictable and the profile is very consistent.
Untuk bahagian ini, 4 TBM keseimbangan tekanan tanah atau Earth Pressure Balance digunakan.
KL Karstic Limestone Formation is one of the most difficult ground conditions for tunneling in the world. It consists of cavities, fissures, underground passages, so you can imagine that you are tunneling through a very unknown condition. So from the experience that we learned from SMART, we sent our team to Germany to work with our supplier to develop a machine capable of handling this type of situation, which is now known as the variable density TBM, and it is the first of its kind in the world.
Mesin baru dikenali sebagai TBM pemboleh ubah ketumpatan atau Variable Density TBM. Ini adalah hasil inisiatif antara pakar penerowongan dari MMC Gamuda dan Herang Neck dari negara Jerman.
It's a product of ideas, opinions and experience from all quarters. It's a very comprehensive machine. You can say it's very special because no machine has been designed like this before.
TBM ini direka mengutamakan ciri keselamatan.
I think far more important is the safety that it brings to not just the people but the property on the route. When we deal with karstic limestones and we find solution chambers and cavities that could actually cause mini collapses, or the ground subsidence could bring some neighboring structures down. This way, at least, we are saving millions in terms of protecting this property. And that, I think, is far more important in terms of safety.
6 buah TBM Variable Density digunakan untuk menggali formasi batu kapur karstik Kuala Lumpur. Namun sebelum TBM beroperasi, tapak pelancaran perlu disediakan terlebih dahulu di Cochrane, Inai, Pudu dan Semantan. Stesen Cochrane merupakan tapak pembinaan terbesar berukuran 14 hektar. 4 TBM telah dilancarkan dari sini dan kerja-kerja telah dimulakan pada Mei 2012.
Some of the stations are being built from the bottom-up construction method. Here we will excavate to the lowest level and build upwards.
Letupan batu terkawal dilakukan untuk mengorek shaft mencecah kedalaman 30 meter.
Blasting itself is a very dangerous activity. So definitely there is no room for even the slightest mistake. Therefore, the safety measures need to be followed strictly throughout the whole process. And second is to control the vibration and sound to the allowable limit so that it will not induce any damage to the surrounding building.
Pengorekan shaft mengambil masa 9 bulan untuk siap. TBM Variable Density yang pertama tiba di Malaysia pada akhir Januari 2013. Mengangkut TBM ke tapak-tapak melalui Kuala Lumpur adalah satu cabaran yang memerlukan perancangan teliti. Pelantar perinci perlu untuk pemasangan mesin kerana sebarang kerosakan memerlukan pembaikan khas di negara Jerman.
This is a very complicated machine. And we are also dealing with very delicate components, very heavy, looks very tough but very delicate. We cannot afford to damage it. If the extent of damage is huge, then the impact to the project will be tremendous.
Di shaft Inai, 2 TBM Variable Density dilancarkan. Shaft bulat digali sehingga kedalaman 34 meter. Di bahagian bawah shaft, kebok dikorek untuk pemasangan TBM. Disebabkan ruang yang terhad, menurunkan sebahagian komponen TBM adalah mencabar, terutama skru penghantar.
It's the most difficult one because this length is actually bigger than the shaft itself. It's 18 meters long. The shaft is 17 meters. Any damages caused to this component would cause a major setback to the project and definitely to our launching.
Pelancaran TBM Variable Density pertama dirasmikan oleh Perdana Menteri Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak pada 30 Mei 2013.
Dan hari ini kita dapat menyaksikan pencapaian yang bermakna dalam perjalanan negara kita. Bukan saja untuk melakukan perubahan yang besar kepada sistem pengangkutan awam negara, tetapi signifikan projek MRT ini untuk Malaysia ditransformasikan sebagai negara berpendapatan.
TBM mampu mengorek dan membina gelang terowong yang akan menghasilkan lapik terowong. Setiap gelang terdiri daripada 7 segmen dan 1 kunci atau keystone. Segmen seberat 2.2 metrik tan diangkat menggunakan sistem vakum. Pembina gelang mengawal lengan hidrolik pada penegak untuk memposisikannya dengan tepat. Sejumlah 11,500 gelang diperlukan untuk lapisan terowong berkembar sejauh 9.5 km. Dinding terowong perlu kuat untuk menghadapi tekanan dan kesan kimia dari tanah dan air, serta dapat bertahan daripada enapan akibat dari keadaan geologi tanah yang teruk. Segmen-segmen terowong dibuat di luar kawasan tapak di 3 kilang berbeza.
We are adopting the technology what we call steel fiber reinforced concrete. We use a staple-like steel fiber to replace a conventional thick and heavy rebar. On top of that, we are using another fiber called polypropylene fiber to improve the fire-resistant properties of our segments.
Di sesetengah lintasan terowong, di mana pengukuhan diperlukan, segmen-segmen yang dapat menahan bebanan berlebihan direka.
What you can see here is the hybrid system. When I said hybrid system means we'll have this rebar in and at the same time we'll pour in steel fiber reinforced concrete to cater special geological conditions like crossing Sungai Kerayong or for the Sek Tunnel.
Segmen-segmen dibawa ke TBM menggunakan kenderaan khas. Semakin dalam penggalian TBM, semakin tinggi suhu dan kelembapan. Kipas besar mengepam udara sejuk ke dalam salur udara yang laluannya bergerak ke arah TBM. Terowong adalah seperti arteri gergasi, membekalkan tenaga kerja dan mesin dengan bekalan penting, iaitu udara sejuk, kuasa elektrik, air, grout dan bahan utama seperti bentonite slurry. Cecair likat memainkan peranan penting bagi mesin variable density. Ia mengekalkan tekanan pada permukaan batu dan bertindak sebagai lapisan pelindung kepada gerudi gergasi apabila ia mengisar ke depan.
Variable density machine, as the name suggests, the machine is capable of varying the slurry density at the excavation chamber of this machine. It actually prevents the blowout to the surface when we use the sufficient pressure to counteract the existing ground and water pressure. In the normal slurry density, the same pressure is going to push this slurry all the way up to the surface, especially in shallow condition. And secondly, with the high viscosity, we slow down the losses of bentonite in the very karst condition in the limestone. In the normal slurry machine, the slurry will lose out so fast, we will be delayed in the machine's response in injecting sufficient slurry back to counteract the losses.
Slurry ini juga berfungsi untuk membawa sisa keluar dari terowong. Di atas permukaan, loji slurry berterusan memproses dan membersihkan lumpur yang terhasil dari pengorekan TBM melalui beberapa peringkat tapisan.
What the separation plant has to do is to ensure that the screens are all working perfectly. There is no clogging in the screens, and to make sure that all the conditions of the motors and also the screens are in 100% good condition.
Slurry kitar semula yang bersih disalurkan ke bawah tanah melalui pam menghala ke TBM untuk beroperasi semula. Selepas mengorek di jarak yang tertentu, TBM perlu berhenti untuk penyelenggaraan yang dipanggil intervensi.
We're having this intervention stop to have a check on the catalyst. Catalysts are like the knives of the machine that cut through the ground. So we're just going to check whether we need to change them or not so that we can further mine.
Cutter head terletak dalam zon tekanan di hadapan. Sebelum sebarang kerja dilaksanakan, jurutera terowong perlu memastikan sama ada keadaan tanah di hadapan cutter head selamat.
The first thing I'll be concerned with is the pressure in the front. Before the men go inside and do this maintenance, we have to make sure that the pressure is okay in the front.
Cutter-head TBM dilengkapi dengan 37 cakra pemotong yang mengisar batuan dan tanah. Setelah menggali pada jarak tertentu, cakra pemotong akan haus dan perlu digantikan.
We already finished the inspection for the cutter head. So we found only one disc and one knife bucket have to change. So now we do the preparation for the changing.
Pembina terowong berdepan dengan keadaan yang mencabar di ruang pengorekan cutter-head. Kawasannya sempit untuk bergerak dan suhu boleh mencecah 45 darjah Celsius. Tambah sukar, cakra pemotong dengan berat kira-kira 200 kg setiap satu hanya boleh diangkat menggunakan blok berantai.
It's certainly not the best space to work at. It's very hot, very stuffy, and you can't really hear because it's too noisy in the front.
Sejam kemudian, cakra pemotong baru dipasang dan TBM kembali beroperasi.
Yeah. Okay.
Lebih daripada 1,000 orang bekerja dalam pembinaan seksyen bawah tanah. MMC Gamuda mempunyai pasukan jurutera yang dinamik yang memainkan peranan utama.
I have great opportunity to work in and manage jobs in Smart Project, the Berapit Tunnel, and now this one. Every job, the responsibility and opportunity is expanding exponentially. I think it's a good challenge and I appreciate this kind of opportunities.
I'm now handling one of the machine and running the full operation of the tunnel. I am lucky because I have good mentors teaching me how to actually control the machine, how to actually manage the people. It's quite challenging, but I think I like it because there's not many chances that you can be in a tunneling construction industry.
It's a great challenge for me every day, but I'm looking forward for what I'll be learning next. Most of us are young engineers. We learn from scratch. We grow together with our team. But today, I believe we are strong enough to continue our journey.
MMC Gamuda juga mewujudkan Akademi Pembinaan Terowong yang dirasmikan oleh mantan Perdana Menteri Malaysia, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad pada bulan Disember 2011. Akademi yang pertama seumpamanya di dunia ini mensasarkan untuk membangunkan pekerja berkemahiran tinggi dari Malaysia yang mahir dalam bidang pembinaan terowong dan bakal menguasai projek kejuruteraan bertaraf dunia. Sehingga kini, hampir 500 pekerja profesional dan mahir telah dilatih dalam pelbagai kemahiran untuk melaksanakan kerja-kerja pembinaan terowong dan bawah tanah, khususnya projek KV MRT.
Sebab benda ni mesin baru, banyak benda yang kita kena belajar. Engineer dan senior banyak tunjuk ajar kat saya daripada mula sampai sekarang lah. Dah faham pasal TBM ni. Bagi pendapat saya, masa depan kerja dalam tunneling ni agak cerah lah sebab ni baru first project MRT. Mungkin lepas ni ada lagi.
Saya bekerja di TBM, saya diberi tugas jaga piping belakang. Saya rasa bangga dapat bekerja di projek terbesar di Malaysia.
I always believe that the future of Malaysia is always related to our human talent. And so these guys training on tunneling work is fantastic because there is a lot more application, not just in Malaysia but elsewhere. And so if we finish all the work here, and that experience they've had will bring tremendous revenue for them as individuals in their career beyond Malaysia.
Terkini, akademi ini mendapat pengiktirafan global apabila MMC Gamuda menandatangani memorandum perjanjian dengan Delhi Metro Rail Corp Limited. Memorandum ini menandakan kerjasama strategik antara dua syarikat di mana jurutera-jurutera dari Delhi Metro Rail akan dihantar mengikuti kursus teori dan praktikal penerowongan di akademi ini.
We are proud that not only we are able to set up a tunnel training academy to train Malaysian, but we also be able to train people from abroad.
Untuk memastikan keselamatan pekerja pembinaan bawah tanah, latihan keselamatan kerap dilaksanakan di tapak.
We want to ensure that the emergency response team is always prepared and ready in the event that a real emergency happens.
Pasukan tindak balas kecemasan juga dilatih untuk menghadapi kebakaran dalam terowong.
Our team members, at least 200 staff in our UG area, need to be trained to know everything if the fires goes on at their workplace. So they know what to do.
This training gives them first-hand experience of when not to put themselves at risk.
Pasukan penilai risiko dan mitigasi juga menjalankan perancangan dan kerja-kerja awal yang terperinci untuk memastikan laluan TBM tidak membawa sebarang kesan kepada struktur sedia ada.
We are preparing the way for TBM before the TBM arrive. For instance, their piles need to be removed, their soft ground need to be strengthened. So in a way, we are paving a smooth way for the TBM to go through to avoid any subsidence or any structural deformation.
Di bahagian permukaan, di mana kerja bawah tanah sedang dilakukan, pasukan pemantauan mengawasi sebarang pergerakan atau enapan tanah. Tidak kira sama ada harta persendirian mahupun awam, pasukan ini terus memantau sebarang petanda supaya tindakan pantas boleh diambil.
This monitoring works is basically you get to monitor the effects and the impact of our TBM drive, which will be passing by here, on the structures above, on the surface above.
Namun, keadaan kastik di Kuala Lumpur tidak menentu. Walaupun setiap tindakan diambil untuk melindungi permukaan atas kerja pengorekan, endapan tanah tetap boleh berlaku.
Tonight we have a sinkhole. The sinkhole is actually right in the end of the Jalan Bukit Bintang, directly on top of the TBM.
Kerja pengorekan TBM telah dihentikan. Terdapat batu besar tersangkut pada skru penghantar dan pasukan penerowongan cuba menyelesaikan masalah seberapa segera.
We have closed one direction of the Bukit Bintang road. We need to fill this up and get this sorted out, repaired, get the machine passed, and we want to open the road and get everything to normal as soon as possible.
Untuk mengurangkan kesulitan semasa pembinaan, pelan pengurusan trafik telah dilaksanakan. Ini memastikan penutupan jalan dan pengalihan laluan yang minimal pada waktu kemuncak dan memastikan informasi diberi kepada orang ramai.
Because we are passing through very densely populated areas and very heavily traffic roads, we have had to embark on very detailed traffic management planning to ensure that all the work areas are cordoned off properly with the objective of minimizing the impact on the road users and also ensuring that the motorists are able to travel through the work zones safely.
Pembinaan KV MRT bakal melibatkan seluruh penduduk sekitar Lembah Klang. Pasukan Perhubungan Awam dan Komunikasi sentiasa bersedia berinteraksi dengan orang ramai dan pihak-pihak berkepentingan. Program ini telah membantu projek menerima sokongan dan kerjasama dari mereka.
MRT Corporation and PDP, we take a lot of effort to make sure that we engage all stakeholders. It's important for people to understand what we're trying to do. And it's also important for people to understand how we are going to impact on their lives and also giving them the opportunity to voice their concerns to us. And the public has certainly voiced some of their concerns to us. And it is for us to respond to these concerns to make sure that everything is managed well and everybody is treated fairly.
Prototipe pertama kereta api telah dipamerkan di Kuala Lumpur kepada orang ramai baru-baru ini.
The design of the train was actually done by BMW, working together with Siemens. We've incorporated a lot of safety facilities as far as the train is concerned.
Dengan lebar 3.1 meter antara yang terlebar di dunia, ia mampu menampung 1,200 penumpang. Ia direka bentuk untuk beroperasi dengan frekuensi selama 2 minit dan anggaran penumpang sehari adalah 400,000 orang. Reka bentuk stesen bertingkat mempunyai tema tersendiri, Wakaf Melayu, tempat rehat tradisional untuk pengembara. Ia akan menjadi plaza mikro, diterangi cahaya dengan aliran udara yang baik. Stesen bawah tanah akan menggunakan batu kuartza sebagai simbol perpaduan. Setiap stesen juga akan mengetengahkan elemen istimewa dari setiap lokasi.
We have 7 different underground stations. These are in very distinct part of Kuala Lumpur. An example is we have one station located where the Warisan Merdeka development is going to be done. In that particular station, we have the Merdeka team, where we incorporate features like the Rukun Negara and also pictures of Merdeka. We have another location, which is at the TRX. So there is a financial feature. At the end of the day, we want to make this fun as well, something that people can relate to.
Pada 24 April 2014, pasukan pekerja bawah tanah meraihkan kejayaan penembusan TBM yang kelima, menandakan lebih 50% kerja bawah tanah telah selesai.
If you look at the progress so far, it's been extremely encouraging. And my congratulations to Gamuda for working, with Harun Connect to actually come up with this TPM. And I think with what has been going on, with the breakthroughs that we've been having, I think it's been worth their while, and it's really paying off. We've brought the underground work to a very good pace, and it's testimony to all the hard work that's been put in by the team.
It has been tremendous, unforgettable journey. The machine has performed very well. So, combination of machine equipment and good people, our engineering crew, our operation crew, the academy boys, and our young graduate engineers that have performed all beyond par. It is an incredible achievement, not only for me, but for the whole team, for the whole project.
Compared to SMART, we only got 2 incidents, whereby in the same length in SMART, of almost 7.5 km, we have 41 sinkhole. So I would say that we are happy that the machine have performed more than expected.
Dengan pengurangan sebanyak 95% enapan berbanding pembinaan terowong SMART, membuktikan TBM variable density yang inovatif ini sangat efektif.
I think more and more people will look to this experience we have here because it's state of the art. We are doing piloting, we're doing something completely new here. That's frontier technology in its application, and that's a feather in the cap for Malaysia.
Sehingga Julai 2014, perkembangan pembinaan untuk aliran KV MRT pertama berjalan lancar dengan kerja-kerja utama dilaksanakan pada pelbagai peringkat.
At the moment, as far as the overall progress of the project is concerned, we are at about 47%. We're happy with the progress that we've made, and we're slightly ahead of plan, and we are still committed to delivering the date that we originally set before we started to do the physical work.
Setelah KV MRT siap, ia akan mengubah lanskap Greater Kuala Lumpur. Ia secara langsung akan meningkatkan liputan pengangkutan bandar dan memacu Kuala Lumpur sebagai sebuah bandar yang paling berdaya huni di dunia.
I see the MRT project as a game changer. We're creating new destinations. We are creating new ways of life. I believe with the full development of good rail infrastructure in Kuala Lumpur, the people will understand that all the pain and all the inconvenience that they felt before is worth their while. For the next generation, they may not feel the pain, but they will certainly be enjoying the game. So it can only be positive.
The one dream that everyone has is to make sure that we have Greater Kuala Lumpur as a competitive and very livable city by the year 2020. And I think this is one project that I believe has a thumbs up all round.